This is a mock interview conducted by Forum IAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Please take your seat.
Mukul, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
You heard of Robert Bruce?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I haven't heard of him.
Robert Bruce was that Scottish chieftain who lost a lot of battles and finally was sitting in a cave and he saw a spider which was climbing up, falling down, climbing up, falling down. So you remind me of Robert Bruce.
Thank you, ma'am.
You moved up from which service to which service to which service?
Ma'am, I was first selected in the Indian Information Service 2017 batch. Then I moved to the Indian Postal Service 2018 batch. And then I joined the Indian Audit and Account Service 2020 batch, ma'am.
Now why have you kept moving like this? How long will you keep moving?
Ma'am, right now I have just opted for the Indian Administrative Service, ma'am.
That we saw that.
Yes, ma'am.
So till you get it, you'll keep trying.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And where do you belong to?
And I belong to, ma'am, Uttarakhand, ma'am, Rudraprayag district.
Rudraprayag. That's what I thought, the Galwali. Okay, that's why you opted for Uttarakhand, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So your education later, you did your MA from there.
Yes,
Otherwise,
ma'am.
you've been in Delhi, huh?
Ma'am, I did my schooling from Dehradun and
Delhi likha hua hai? Like 12th, class 12. All right. Okay. So Rudraprayag. What are your views about this all-weather road, Char Dham project, which is really not Char Dham because even in Kumaon, it's all over the place. Roads are mess there also. So what are your views on this? Should it have been done or should it not have been done?
ma'am, the all-weather road project is a good initiative. It has got twofold motive, ma'am. Firstly, to connect people because they don't have all-weather connectivity.
All connected. I have been to Kedarnath almost every year and I went before last I went in 2019, we just begun. Before that I had gone earlier and I went now. It's a nightmare. Achhi khasi sadak thi. Now, you know Tilwara?
Yes, ma'am.
How long does it take from Rudraprayag to Tilwara?
Ma'am, it's just 12 kilometers, ma'am.
An hour and 12 minutes now. There are traffic jams all the way. There's rubble on both sides from the beginning. And now they're taking the train there also, up. Not till Rudraprayag, but they're taking the train up. It's a nightmare. And what about the geofragile hills?
Ma'am, that is the challenge.
That's why it's all coming down. And so many accidents, 10 minutes in front of us, the vehicle the boulder came, they all went down. It's all raining boulders everywhere.
Ma'am,
Are there some issues in the execution? How they're executing it? Did you notice any issues in that?
Yes, ma'am.
How?
Ma'am, the blasting using the dynamite, ma'am, and the cutting.
That's one. And what else?
Ma'am, the rubble, ma'am, it is not disposed of properly. It is just...
No, apart from that, normally a road is made in continuity. They've given pieces to different thekedars. So you find one piece tuta here, okay then. Then another tuta, it's like that. It's a nightmare. Anyway. Right. So, you're a quizzer.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your area of interest in quizzing?
Ma'am, India quizzing, ma'am.
India quizzing means what? Literary, historical. You're a student of history,
History,
are you?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. History, ma'am.
History.
History
Okay.
and sports, ma'am.
Tell me 3 great men in history who shaped the destiny of a country to which they didn't belong. This was asked of me in my interview.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, number 1, Alexander the Great. I'm talking India specific, ma'am.
Not India specific, global. Tell which country they belong to and which country's destiny did they shape.
Alexander the Great, number 1.
Who did he shape? Which country's destiny did he shape?
Ma'am, India's destiny,
What
ma'am.
destiny shape ki? Nothing. No long-term legacy here.
Ma'am, in the sense that he defeated a number of small principalities in the northwest.
But what did he make? What difference did it make? He installed his general, but the general got assimilated.
Ma'am, then talking about, ma'am, modern history, ma'am, we can talk about Napoleon, ma'am. He was born on Corsica which was a part of, ma'am, Italy then. He changed.
Right. Next.
Ma'am, ma'am Babar, he was born in Fargana.
Maybe you can say. What about Hitler? What was he?
Ma'am, he was born as an Austrian citizen, ma'am. But one can, yes, he changed the destiny of the entire Europe, ma'am.
What
in
about
a way.
Marx?
And Marx, again, ma'am, was...
Yes. I think you should have said.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, tell me, recently there have been deaths of children in Gambia after cough syrup was administered, and yesterday in Uzbekistan.
Yes, ma'am.
So did the government factories produce these things for getting these poor quality drugs, or what is it, private sector?
Private sector, ma'am.
So private sector is not the panacea of all ills of desired quality and desired everything. Their
Yes,
motive
ma'am.
is always profit.
Yes, ma'am.
So, to get back to ordnance factories.
Ma'am, when it comes to ordnance factories, ma'am, the specific example, there's a CAG report which has outlined, there's a performance audit which was done, in which it highlighted how the managerial functions were not exercised well.
Yes, of course. You see, when Mr. Sridharan made the Delhi Metro, he said, no audit, no tenders, no vigilance, and I'll make the metro. So, if these guarantees are given to the PSU, give a performance, will it not do it? No overstaffing, no bhariti from outside, no politician saying ki ye bharo, bharo. If you are given a certain degree of safety and security, which is given to a private partner, then why will they not deliver?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't know what Sridharan sir had said, ma'am, when it came to Delhi Metro.
I'm telling you, he did. That's what happened.
But ma'am, I do not feel the rule of law would permit that, ma'am.
It has all happened. You do not feel, but you don't know. Point I'm making is, if you give a level field, playing field to the private or public sector, they'll both deliver. But if the public sector is hamstrung with constraints, and then they are said to be inefficient, that is the point I'm making. Would you allow China to enter into spectrum? They're there, but you want them to allow them to 5G and everything?
No, ma'am, we should not be, ma'am. However, we have to take a reasonable call in the sense that the Chinese manufacturers like Huawei have the best technology, ma'am. So we have to take a call, ma'am, a strategic call based upon ensuring that our own domestic spectrum technologies also develop, ma'am.
Now we're on China. Now, what do you think is the best way? Which is the approach that we should have? There are many approaches: political, diplomatic, military, economic. Which of these, if you have to choose one, would you choose to counter China?
Economic, ma'am.
What would you do in that?
Ma'am, it would be a multifold approach in the sense that we have to improve our own manufacturing sector, ma'am. Secondly, ma'am, cheap Chinese imports, ma'am. We have to safeguard our domestic sector against them.
You're right. So that's what I was getting at when you talked to Huawei.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mukul.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Mukul, you are in the Indian Audit and Account Service right
Yes,
now.
sir.
Okay. Can you tell me that, is it the responsibility of your service to maintain the accounts of the state governments?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And audit as well.
Yes, sir.
So is it not a conflict of interest?
No, sir.
Why? Why is it not a conflict?
Sir, because we have two separate offices, sir. The Accountant General's Office for Accounts and Entitlement and the Accountant General's Office for the Audit, sir, which are separate, sir. The staff is entirely separate. The IAS officers, they sometimes work in the account side, sometimes in the audit side. And a margin, or rather a gap is maintained between these two departments, sir, these two offices. They are not one single office. The cadre is different, sir.
The cadre is different.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Can you tell me what method of accounting is followed in government?
So it's the cash basis of accounting, sir.
How is it different from accrual basis?
Sir, in cash basis of accounting, any amount is registered only when it actually comes in our hands. That is cash basis. In accrual, whenever a liability or something is like occurs, a liability occurs or some provision occurs, it is registered. So that is the main difference.
Okay, that's good. So Mukul, recently government had unveiled a plan of asset monetization. Okay, But the problem with assets of the government is that, let's say, if government has land, okay, that land is lying with a lot of departments. So there is a problem in valuation of land, right? So being somebody who's from accounts, how do you think this valuation process should go? Because once we have valued the land, only then can we monetize it, right?
Yes, sir.
So how do we value land which is lying with various government departments?
Sir, we will have to firstly go by the revenue circle rates of the land, sir, and at the same time undertake a market study to evaluate what is the actual commercial value of the land, sir. And on the basis of both these figures, then we can choose a via medium, and therefore we can decide what's the actual cost of the land, sir.
Okay, fine. Can you tell me that whether there has been any impact of the RERA on the prices of properties? That has it led to decrease in the prevalence of money laundering and black money in the property market?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it, sir.
You are not aware of it. Okay. You are a student of history. It is said that Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he had committed 5 blunders during his rule. Okay. And one of the blunders was, in the attacking the region which was located somewhere in Uttarakhand, in present day Uttarakhand. Are you aware that which state did he attack, in which his army was routed very badly?
Karachi expedition, sir.
Okay. Where is that Karachi region located?
So that is not exactly like, we do not have an exact estimate whether it was on the border of Himachal, Uttarakhand, or was it in the Kumaon region. I cannot, sir, I cannot recall the exact location of the place. Then it was called Karachi, sir.
It was called Karachi. Okay. Where have you gone for a trek recently?
So the most recent trek I have gone is the Deoria Tal trek, sir. It is in Rudraprayag district itself, sir.
Okay. So it is located at what height?
2400 meters, sir.
2400. Okay. If you have to recommend 3 treks for a beginner in Uttarakhand, which treks would you recommend?
So number 1 would be, sir, this Deoria Tal trek only, sir. Number 2, sir, it would be the Chandrashila trek, sir.
Okay.
And number 3, sir, one can go for the Kedar Kantha trek, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mukul.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, hello, Mukul. So, you belong to Uttarakhand.
Yes, sir.
Are there any border disputes in Uttarakhand?
Yes, sir.
Can you name?
Sir, there are 2 simmering border disputes, sir. One is on the eastern side with Nepal, sir, the tri-junction point in Pithoragarh district. And the other dispute is, sir, in the Chamoli district, sir, on the line of actual control, sir.
Okay, all right. Just tell me what has happened in Nepal recently.
Sir, a new coalition government has come to power, sir. It is backed by 2 communist factions, sir. The current Prime Minister of Nepal is Mr. Pushpa Dahal Prachanda, and he is backed by Khadga Prasad Oli. And the coalition government, according to Indian strategic experts, might be having better relations with China because it is a communist government.
So, how do you think India should handle this situation now? It's actually Mr. Deoba who has got the, in a way, we can say that he has got the mandate, he has got the maximum seats, but still he is out of power. So, how should India interfere? How should India handle the situation?
So, India should handle the situation in a neighborhood first paradigm, sir. There's no need to interfere as such. We should be having the friendly relations which we have. We have to convince the Nepali government and the people of Nepal that we mean good for them. We should ensure at the same time that our strategic interests are not threatened due to the Chinese Belt and Road project. At the same time, we should be helping Nepal with financial assistance and developmental projects, sir.
Aren't we doing that now?
We are, sir. We are doing that.
Then why is there anti-India sentiment? It's there in the newspapers that, there is a very big anti-India sentiment that is happening in Nepal. So how should we counter that?
Sir, there has to be a multifold strategy, sir, for countering that anti-India sentiment. Number one, sir, the developmental projects which we talk about, they don't get executed on time, sir. So we have to deliver on our promises. Number two, sir, the China factor, sir. So basically, we have to get in the soft power diplomacy, which has worked for us, but we have to play it better, sir, because China is getting heavily involved in development projects in Nepal. And thirdly, sir, people-to-people contact, sir. We have to improve upon that, sir.
Okay. So have you heard the term loss and damage?
Yes, sir.
And why was it used recently?
Sir, for the COP15, sir, the biodiversity.
COP15?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
The biodiversity summit, sir.
Okay.
So we have two COPs going on concurrently, sir.
Okay, you continue with you explain what is loss and damage.
So basically, loss and damage is a concept which has been propagated by the developing countries, sir. As we all know that because of climate change, some of the most poor countries in the world, such as the Pacific Island nations and South Asian countries, are affected by climate disasters. And this loss and damage has been in a way to ask for reparations and adaptation.
Okay. So US has also been undergoing, they have undertaken lots of losses over the, last couple of days. So do you think US should also be compensated under this principle?
No, sir.
Why? What is the underlying basis of, on the basis of which they claim the loss and damage?
So the principle on which it lies is that industrialized countries are the people who emitted the greenhouse gases. They should actually be given
historical contributions.
Yes, sir, historical contributions.
All right. That's all from my side. I'll pass on to the.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Mukul. You're from Delhi. You also have optional as history. Give me some historical background of Delhi.
So, Delhi, as we know it, is named after the 7th century king named as Dhillu, sir. The most ancient part of Delhi to be inhabited is probably near Purana Killa, where we have found evidence of northern black polished ware. It is the same site where we later had the Purana Killa, which was built by Sher Shah Suri. After Raja Dhillu, the first establishment in Delhi was made by the kings such as Prithviraj Chauhan. Subsequently, we had invasions from the northwest, and we had the Delhi Sultanate in Delhi. And then it was Mughals, sir, and we have the Red Fort, which is one of the prime legacies of the Mughal rule in Delhi. And then we had the British.
Which area is called Indraprasth?
Sir, Purana Killa area, sir, besides the Yamuna River, sir, Yamuna River bank.
Okay. We also have a pillar in Qutub complex, right?
Yes, sir.
Give me some historical background about it.
Sir, that pillar is called the Iron Pillar, sir. It has got its unique characteristic that although it's made of iron, but it doesn't rust. And
The reason being?
sir, the chemical composition of the pillar, sir, it has been such that it doesn't rust, sir. It is primarily made of iron. It's not 100% iron, sir, but the chemical composition is such that it doesn't rust.
Okay. One very basic question. Why 220 volt is supplied to households?
Sir, it is the AC voltage, sir, and it's a safe level of supply, sir, at which the electrical appliances, it's a uniform.
It could have been 500 also, so appliance can be made for that voltage.
But sir, it could be deadly for the human, sir, if electrocution.
If not 150?
So I can't recall, sir, right now.
So Indian Account and Account Service, Audit and Account Service, right?
Yes, sir.
So it is headed by
The CAG of India, sir.
CAG of India. It is broadly an advisory body. Is it true?
No, sir, it's not an advisory body, sir.
What are the functions?
Sir,
Does it have any quasi-judicial function?
no, sir.
Give me 2 reasons why it should be given to it.
Sir, the reasons would be hypothetical, sir, because in my opinion, quasi-judicial functions should not be given. However, if one were to say, one of the reasons would be that the other agencies of the government, their members, and they are appointed by the government, and there are routinely allegations of partisanship on them, and the institution of the CAG is considered to be non-partisan. So one of the reasons could be this, sir. And secondly, CAG is one of the only institutions, the office of the CAG, which audits not just the union government, but the state governments as well, sir. So more uniformity, sir.
Okay, so you are also into cricket.
Yes, sir.
What was your role?
Sir, I was a opening batsman, sir.
Okay, so what level have you played maximum?
Sir, inter-university level, sir.
Inter-university?
Yes, sir.
And any favorite batsman of all time?
Sir, Saurav Ganguly, sir.
Reason being?
Sir, particularly being good on the offside and his flamboyance, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
All the best. You
All
do
the
it.
very best.
You do it, and we hope to see you there for sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.